So, my dear friends, welcome to the 64th class of the Bhagavad Gita. We will start studying chapter 9 today. But as is our ritual, let us do a quick summary of chapter 8. The chapter 8 begins by Arjuna asking a list of questions to Krishna. And these are: what is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is Adi Yagya? What is Adi Deva? What is Adi Bhuta? What is Karma? And how is the Lord known at the time of death? So these are the questions that Arjuna asks. And the rest of the chapter 8 is pretty much the answers to all these questions that Arjuna has placed. And of course, we know that Arjuna is the ideal devotee. He represents all of us. And like him, we too have all these questions. And the answers, therefore, that come from Lord Krishna are answering our own innermost questions. And we must receive them with that bhav. We must know that the Gita is not written by just any other author or professor or teacher. It is the words of Lord Krishna himself. And therefore, they carry not only the wisdom, but the vibration of the Lord himself and have the power to take us to moksha. So, in shlokas number 3 and 4, Krishna briefly starts to answer the questions, and he says, Brahman is the one supreme ultimate reality. Adi Yagya is that one, Adhyatma is the individualized soul of that one Brahman. Adi Yagya is the causal world. Adi Daiva is the astral reality or the astral world. Adi Bhuta is the physical world as we know it. And Karma is the creative action of the universe at the cosmic level, and that includes our own individual actions that we perform with our speech, with our words, with our thoughts, and with our actions. Okay. In shloka number 5 to 7, Krishna explains how we must be thinking of the Lord when we are at the point of death. The point of death means we are not going to be inhalated. The point of separation of the physical body from the Sukshma Sharira and our journey onwards, what we should be doing at that time. So he says, Krishna clearly says, whoever leaves the body while remembering me comes to me. Now, what happens to those who are thinking of something else? So he says, if you have other thoughts in your mind at the moment when your physical body is dropped, then according to those thoughts, you will be taken into an astral sphere. And of course, according to your residual, whatever karma you have, after your stay in the astral universe is done, you will come back to earth. So then his advice to Arjuna at this point in time, he clearly says, therefore, remember me at all times and fight. Fight means perform your duties while keeping your mind on God. And this question will again keep coming up. Oh, how I have to do so many duties. How can I keep my mind on God? We have discussed these questions in our Q&A sections multiple times. But every time we are saying that it is difficult to do or we are unable to do is simply because we have not yet developed the habit of doing so. Our whole lives run in the realm of habits mostly. Now, it is our choice to develop bad habits. It is our choice to develop good habits. So here, remembering Krishna all the time is a habit that we need to install in our minds. And who is going to do it? We ourselves have to do it. Nobody external can do it for us. Even Krishna will not do it for you. Of course, his grace is there only because his grace is there that we are able to think of him. But he is the lover. He wants to see how much the beloved loves him. So as many times or as much you can remember Krishna, that you are just endorsing that you love him so much. So he will watch, he will wait. He is all the while waiting for us. And it is we who, by our regular practice, abhyasa, that we will install this habit. Even though we may not have this habit right now, even though we may think it is difficult to do so, but if the scripture is saying, if Krishna is saying you must do it, then you must do it. Then however much difficult it is, let's take the first step in doing this. Let's install this habit. As many times as we remember in the day, maybe we can, think of Krishna. We can use our telephones as, our mobile phones to our advantage. We can put alarms, we can put Krishna images, we can put, instead of ringtones, we can put a Krishna mantra, we can just sing of Radha Krishna. So we can use, there are ways and there are means. The point is, do you have the intention to do so or not? Because everything depends on your intent. If your intent is still to enjoy the world and its material things, then obviously you are not going to be taking the name of Lord Krishna, because it doesn't interest you. But the moment your intent is on finding God, and that is your goal, if self-realization is your goal, God realization is your goal, then you will do what needs to be done. So remembering Krishna at all times, let us install this habit from today itself. Okay. In shlokas number 8 to 13, so in these shlokas, Krishna describes the process of dying consciously while thinking of him. So what does he say? He says, your heart should be fully devoted to me. Your mind should be fully focused on me. Your prana, you should be able to control your prana and focus it the point between the eyebrows. And you should be able to merge in the sound of Om as you are leaving your physical body. Now for Kriya Yogis, this is not difficult at all. If you have been doing your Kriyas, if you have been doing your Om meditation, at least to some extent, you are able to focus at the point between the eyebrows and hear the sound of Om or see the light to some extent. Even if you have tried focusing your energy at the point between the eyebrows, your effort will be counted, and every next effort will be a summation. It will keep on adding to your past efforts. So we have to do this. The way has been clearly told to us. Whether we want to work on it or not is entirely upon us. Okay. In shloka number 14 to 16, now Krishna assures. Now most of us think that this is a very difficult task to do, but Krishna says that the devotee who constantly remembers me, who is single-pointedly devoted to me, for him this is easily achievable. So if you tell yourself, oh, it is difficult, I will do it tomorrow. Oh, it's too far, I can't go there right now. It will be, whatever you say, the universe will say yes. Okay. So if you say, oh, it's difficult, then everything in the universe will tell you how difficult the spiritual path is. But if in your heart you love the Lord and your goal is self-realization, and if you say that because I love the Lord and I know the grace of God is upon me because I am his child and I have a God-realized guru, then it is easy for me. And when you say it is easy for me, then the universe will say yes. Because the universe is like a sounding board. Whatever you project, that you are able to see. So now decide for yourself. The scripture is saying it is easy. The Lord is saying easy. Why are you saying it is difficult? Because you don't want to do it. That is why you're saying it's difficult. So let's change this again. Let's change this thinking pattern in which we say it is difficult to find the Lord. Let's come to the point where we say it is easy to find the Lord, and easy to find the Lord is more reasonable and logical. Why? Because we are the Lord himself. In the sense, the substratum of God and the substratum of us is one and the same. He is everywhere. He is right now within us. So that is why it should be easy. Technically, logically, reasonably speaking, it should be easy. If it doesn't appear to be easy, means हमारा मन नहीं लगा अभी वहां पर, हमारा दिल नहीं है, हमारा प्रभु से प्रेम नहीं है. So that is the reason we don't love the Lord enough to want him so intently. That is why we are just keeping on saying it's difficult, it's difficult. Okay. Then he also warns that all other stages of existence, whether it is the higher heavens, the highest of heavens like Brahmaloka, even those are going to be subject to duality. And once your good karma finishes, you will have to come back to earth. So if you want to go to non-dual realization, then you have to go completely beyond karma. And you have to completely desire that one absolute reality. Then you will be able to reach the abode of Krishna. And Krishna promises here that once you reach my abode, then there will be no rebirth. Shlokas number 17 to 19, they told us about the cosmic cycle, the repetitive nature, that how God projects and how he dissolves. So I'm not going to go into details of that because we covered it in detail in our last class. So whoever wants to know them can actually access the YouTube video, which is already been uploaded. Shlokas number 20 to 22, Krishna says that beyond this cyclical, creation and dissolution is the supreme abode, is that place where you want to go. And those who reach that supreme abode, they needn't come back again. So he repeats here that once you reach the ultimate goal, once you reach me, Krishna consciousness, then you will not be reborn again. And why will we not be reborn? Because from the dual nature, we have come into absolute existence. from the state of affairs in which we are desiring the things of the world, falsely thinking that they will give us pleasure. That illusion and delusion has been broken. Once the hypnosis is broken and we are in the absolute, then we won't want to be reborn and we won't need to be reborn again. In shlokas number 23 to 26, now Krishna clearly, he explained about the two paths, the path of the light, Uttarayana, which is the path of liberation. And this path is followed by those people who have, initiated, or they have learned, have gained the wisdom of the ultimate reality. They have been sattvic in their life. They have purified their chitta. They have wanted liberation. And these are the ones who walk the path of light. The other is the path of darkness. It is the Dakshinayana, and it is the path of rebirth. And this is traversed by people who are attached to this world and to the things of this world. Okay. Right. So now, finally, in 27 and 28, it is said that the wise know both paths. So any person who is wise knows that there are two choices available at every moment. So it is not just that I choose a good path only at the time when I'm leaving my bodily frame. Okay. So this choice has to be made every day and every moment. In every decision of life, we must choose the path of light, the path that takes us to liberation, the path that takes us to God. If in every little decision and every day we are able to choose the path of the light, and what does that mean? That if every day we take out time intentionally and consciously to focus on God, that means we are choosing to go on the path of light. If we say, oh, let me lead my life the way I just want to be and the way the world is going, at the end moment, I will think of God, it's not going to happen. So choosing the path of light at the end means choosing it every day, choosing it every now. And you guys, and most people who are listening to Gita classes anywhere around the world, or Bible classes, or scriptural classes, they are choosing the light naturally, because the scriptures shine the light of truth. So anybody who is doing any God-ordained action or God-oriented, God-attuned action is starting to follow the path of light in this life. And now it will depend on the karma baggage that they have, and also their intense yearning for liberation, that how fast they can come to the point that if at the end of this very lifetime, they can, choose the path of light, which goes to complete liberation and not need to come back again. And important point that is raised in the last shloka is that through devotion, meditation, and knowledge, the abode, the supreme abode that is found, that is greater than all merit attained through any Vedic ritual, through any puja that we may do, through any acts of charity that we may do. That means any outward goodness, even that does not have a significant merit as compared to you really going towards the absolute reality, because only then our final the suffering will end. And why do we good merits or charity, why do we do it? Let's analyze that. If I was to open a hospital, would that take me to God or not? So of course, eventually, if first thing that will depend is what was my intention when I was opening the hospital. If I'm opening the hospital because I want to help other people and I have no need of any selfish gain from that, I only want to serve humanity, so that intention is different. Now, there may be another person who is building up a hospital because he wants to look good in the eyes of people. There is tax evasion or things like that happening at the background. So that intent itself will determine what kind of karma or merit that is being generated. And yes, once a hospital is built, it is going to help a lot many people and is going to generate good merit for you. Now, good merit for you means you will have a good life after once this karma is, harvest of this karma happens, you will have a better life in the material world, and you may have a good life in the afterlife also. But again, you will stay in the dream and you will stay in the zone of duality. It's only when you transcend all karma and you transcend all duality do you reach the supreme ultimate goal. So yes, charity is good. Yes, all these outward actions are good because because karma yoga purifies the chitta. And only in a purified chitta will God be reflected. So yes, it has its own importance. But communing with God directly is the most important thing because it takes you directly into that absolute existence. And all these things will add up, but if you and that's what was said by Master in the previous chapter that we were studying. Even a good person having led a good moral and ethical life will take millions of years of evolution to finally reach God if he doesn't do any specific yogic action which connects him to God directly. So therefore, all of us, this is the greatest blessing that yes, we are doing good work in the world, but we have a God realized guru with us who is telling us the shortcut. We are being given the airplane route. So it would be foolish not to take the shortcut or doubt the shortcut or not sit on the airplane and say, no, 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 I like the bullock cart and I'm going to come that way. If you like it, nobody is going to force you to come on the airplane route. But if you want to add the airplane route, then there are certain things that you have to do. You have to buy the ticket of the plane. You have to be qualified to sit on the airplane. So that, what does that mean? That all the preparation the spiritual life demands of the yama, the niyama, the asana, the prana, all of that, that is the ticket to the airplane route to God. So are we buying the ticket or not? That is the question. But he's saying that the merit surpasses, the merit of realization will surpass all these things. And then we will reach the supreme abode of the eternal being. Okay, so good point to start chapter number 9. The first 3 shlokas of the chapter 9 are interrelated to each other. So let's just study them one by one. Shloka number 1. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyanasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajgyatva mokshase shubhat. तुम श्री भगवान ने कहा, तुम जो दोष दृष्टि रहित हो, तुम्हारे सामने अब मैं उदात्त रहस्य को प्रकट करूंगा। इस ज्ञान का अंतर ज्ञान द्वारा बोध प्राप्त करके तुम बुराई से बच पाओगे। The blessed Lord said, to thee, the uncarping one, I shall now reveal the sublime mystery, the immanent transcendent nature of spirit. Possessing intuitive realization of this wisdom, thou shalt escape from all evil. So beautiful shloka, and this has very, very important words. So the first important word is that when Krishna says, you are of an uncarping spirit. What do we mean by uncarping? Carping is that person who is always complaining, who is always doubting. Even after trivial matters, a person who is always complaining. I'm sure everybody of you around you have some individual in your life who has a carping spirit and complains all the time. So now Krishna is saying, is kind of complimenting Arjuna that you are of an uncarping spirit, that you are not complaining. So we keep complaining about life every morning to night. We can choose to complain. The weather is not good. The traffic is not good. My boss is not good. My work is not good. My spouse is not good. The politics is not good. Everything is not good. We can choose to complain and carp all the time. Then clearly, will God reveal himself to us? No. But then when we say, it is what it is, I simply accept with truthfulness, I accept this world just as it is. I note the weather, it is so and so. I note the people around me, it is so and so. And it gets easier to accept the world just as it is if we realize that the law of karma is applicable at all levels. If we keep denying the law of karma, then we will never take responsibility for our position in life right now. But if we say that the law of karma is valid, and if it is valid at one point, it is valid at all points, then we can at least take responsibility for whatever life we have created around us, and then we can change it. So truthfully accepting your life just as it is, and only once you accept it can you actually modify it or evolve from there for the better. So Krishna is saying, "O thou of uncarping spirit, I will give you that knowledge." And what kind of knowledge? He says, "I will give you the highest knowledge. It is the profoundest secret." So he's going to tell us a secret which is very profound, and he's going to tell us, because we have to some extent developed an uncarping spirit. The fact that all of us are listening to this shloka today is that to some extent and degree we have come above judging others, about condemning others, and about simply, we have accepted life to some extent, however it is. Of course, we need further refinement, and subtler aspects of it need to be corrected. The ego needs to be smoothened out, and so many other things. But at least we have come to that level where we are qualifying to even listen to this shloka and to understand its meaning. Okay. Now, interestingly, we clearly know that the Brahma Jnana will not be revealed to a person who is not only just complaining all the time, but he has not purified his chitta by the various spiritual disciplinary practices. The one who is still stuck in, attachments and aversions, likes and dislikes, one who is still in tamas, still in rajas. For that, a person, Brahma Jnana will not be revealed. And if we understand this, then we will try to attune ourselves more and more to sattva, so that we can, live in a state of uplifted consciousness. We can meet divine consciousness. Divine consciousness is always present. But human consciousness also is existing because of the gunas. Human consciousness can be at the level of tamas or rajas and sattva. So as we elevate our consciousness to higher and subtler and more refined realms, we come to sattvic consciousness, and only in the sattvic consciousness the capability of meeting with divine consciousness comes, like meeting with super consciousness or Christ or Krishna consciousness, and then cosmic consciousness. A very important term has been used in this shloka, which is Jnanam Vijnanam Sahitam. So this verse emphasizes that true spiritual knowledge is not intellectual. So Jnanam Vijnanam. It is also experiential, combining the understanding, which is Jnana, and realization, which is Vijnana. So what is being said here? That simple intellectual knowledge of God, firstly, it is not possible to bring God to an intellectual level. He is beyond any language. He is beyond any mental conformations. So it is not possible. So unless you have, that means unless you have realization, which is Vijnana, the term Vijnana has been used here for that, until then it is not going to be, clear to you. So for example, everything has to be understood by experience to a level. So right now what we are experiencing through the five senses is the samsara. So the world is being experienced by us, and therefore we say, oh, this experience is true for me because I feel it is like that. Now this experience cannot be cancelled or nullified by just intellectual knowledge of a subject, unless now you have the experience, direct experience of the absolute reality, which is higher and greater. Till then, your experience of the samsara will be true for you. So the experience of samsara can be cancelled only when you have the higher experience of first hand, touching that divine consciousness, of feeling the absolute within yourself, of feeling the various aspects of God. The aspects of God are amazingly already within us. So when we say the 8 aspects of God, we talk of love, we talk of joy, we talk of calmness, peace, power, wisdom, om, light. Are these part of us? Of course, these are part of us. If we remove these 8 aspects, then this physical frame is nothing but 5 elements, right? So we already have the aspects of God within us, but we do not see them. We do not use them. We do not really consciously be a channel of them. So important to raise our consciousness so that we can experience the divine firsthand. Swami Vivekananda, this is a famous quote by Swami, that if there is a God, I must see him. If there is an Atman, I must perceive it. And if it is not the case, then it is an incomplete teaching. So therefore, in this, the Guru has come to us directly to make us experience and taste that reality. And unless we have tasted that reality, we will be caught up in petty pleasures of the world. But once you have tasted something which is more delicious, then you will not go back into the worldly pettiness. This story is coming to me from, from the Dhammabada. So, one of the stories, it is said that the Buddha, he had a nephew. So many of the people in Buddha's family, they became monks, or they joined the order. And there was one nephew who Buddha was fond of, and this nephew was more worldly, and he wanted to marry a damsel, and this lady was very beautiful. It is said that she was the most beautiful lady in the kingdom at that point, and this boy, nephew of Buddha, was also a very handsome, and he was prince. So it was like a perfect match, and they were in love with each other. And this boy was just completely waiting that he should get just quickly married. So the Buddha knew this, and the Buddha also knew the trap of the world. And because the Buddha is an enlightened being, he wanted to uplift his nephew. So he took the nephew for a walk with him, and there he showed a monkey, or a monkey-like animal, and the female monkey. And he said to the nephew that, "Oh, who do you think is more beautiful, this she monkey or this lady that you're about to marry?" So this person said, "Of course, this is a silly question. This is my would-be wife is 500 times more beautiful than this she monkey." So the Buddha smiled, and then they walked forward. And then Buddha said, Buddha gave him an experience of an illusory, a vision was shown to this man, and there was this a very heavenly damsel that was shown to him. And then the Buddha asked him again, "So who do you think is more beautiful?" And this person said that this lady is much more beautiful than the woman that I'm going to marry. So the Buddha said to him that if you do not marry this girl right now, and if you start to follow the Dhamma, I will show you damsels, multiple hundred times more beautiful than the woman you're about to marry. So the boy, so because he's still materialistic, because he's still in duality, he's still attracted to beauty of the world. So with that, attraction, he said, "Okay, I'm not going to marry right now." Why? Because if I follow the dharma, then I'm going to be shown many, many more beautiful women. So now what happened is, as he started to study the dharma, he actually started to understand the real essence of what was being taught in the dharma. And he lost all interest in attraction, false attraction to a human body, because it is said, the Buddha's teachings say that the human body is nothing but it's filled with its urine, with feces, with filth, it smells. There's nothing really beautiful about the human body. It's only because, now just think of it, it's very true. If we do not use perfumes, if we do not take regular showers, if we do not clean our hair, and we keep ourselves trimmed and prim and proper, then the human body will smell very, very quickly. Every secretion that comes out of the human body is foul smelling. So as that nephew of Buddha, he started to learn the dharma, and he realized the truth of the situation. He had developed vairagya, and he did not want to have any, not attracted to the things of this world, and also to the things of the hereafter, because he understood that even that is a delusion, even that is impermanent, even that is painful eventually. And therefore he started to work for enlightenment. So why this story has come up here is because I'm trying to say is that only once you experience the true reality of absolute existence in yourself, once you taste the bliss, you taste the peace, you taste the calmness, which the divine has to offer you in and through your own human consciousness, then you will not be attracted to the petty pleasures of this world, and you will not waste any more time. And that's what Krishna is saying, that I will tell you Jnanam Vijnanam Sahitam, means I will give you intellectual knowledge, and I will give you experiential knowledge as well. And then it is said, Moksha se Shubhat, and this will take you to liberation, and therefore all your rebirths will then stop. This brings us to shloka number 2, chapter 9. Rajvidya Rajaguyam Pavitra uttamam pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukham kartumavyayam. यह अंतर्ज्ञान युक्त बोध विज्ञानों में श्रेष्ठ राज रहस्य अद्वितीय शोधककारी धर्म मनुष्य का धार्मिक कर्तव्य का सार है। यह सत्य का प्रत्यक्ष बोध है। अविनाशी आत्मज्ञान योग की सुगम विधियों द्वारा इसे प्राप्त किया जाता है। The blessed Lord said, "This intuitive realization is the king of sciences, the royal secret, the peerless purifier, the essence of dharma. It is the direct perception of truth, the imperishable enlightenment attained through the ways of yoga, very easy to perform." So again, multiple things have been said here. So he is firstly saying that this is an intuitive realization. So again, he is saying your intellect and your language, it will not be able to fathom the absolute reality. It is only understood by your sixth sense. Now, our intuition is developed when we are able to quieten the five senses. When the five senses are quietened, when this restless mind is quietened, only then you find that your sixth sense is starting to evolve and increase. And it is only by intuition you will be able to realize the absolute reality. Then he says it is the king of sciences, the royal secret. So again, it is the highest science. It is a secret, royal secret. And that is he is going to tell. So interestingly, Vivekananda would say that this is an open secret. The truth, the absolute, it's an open secret. Why open and why secret? Such a paradoxical statement this is. So open because God is available all the time, everywhere and within us. And yet it's secret because we are unaware of his presence. Where is he? We are all the time looking. We are playing hide and seek. It's like, where is God? Where is God? Where is God? Where is the Atman? On the other hand, we know it is everywhere. We know it is available to us, but we are unable to access it. So the path to the infinite, which is within us, and right now, that is opened by the self-effort, which is guided by the Guru and God, and that takes us to the experience of what always was. And that is why it is said that people who finally get liberated, they understand that there was nobody in bondage actually. This was all an illusion. It was only a hypnosis. It's only a dream. It's only when you wake up from the dream, you realize that, oh, it was only a dream. And therefore, we have to have the absolute experience directly. Again, to say, hence prove to us. And only intellectual knowledge will not have. So all those who are listening to regular Gita classes or other scriptural classes, but not practicing meditation, then you're not going the whole way. You're going to intellectually understand a little thing that will develop your intellectual ego and you will become opinionated. And then again, it's a stuck situation. So you have to experience the Lord within yourself. And it is possible. And then finally, again, he says, it is very easy to perform. So again, convince yourself. You start saying from today, God is easy to find because God is always mine. I am a child of God. How can I not find my God? He is here and now. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to understand his already present nature within me right now. And then, of course, then all the spiritual path is then given to us. But if we apply it as it has been given to us, then it is easy to do, not difficult. Okay. And then also he says, this is the essence of dharma, which is man's righteous duty. So you may say that dharma, the word dharma is confused by so many people. Many people think dharma is, we are only talking of religion. Religion means whether it is Hindu, whether it is Christianity, whether it is Sikhism or Islam or whatever. So that can be taken as, okay, this is the dharma. But actual dharma is righteousness. And what is highest righteousness? Is to realization is righteousness. So religion, true religion is realization. What is the point of religion if it does not help you to realize your own true nature, if it does not help you to realize God? That should be the means and the goal true of any religion. It should help you to know the truth. So the test of religion is whether it helps you to take you to that final absolute reality, knowing which there is nothing else left to be known, having which there is no other gain which is greater. So, and that religion, so is, actually speaking, there is individual dharma for everybody. Each of us has this, our inner righteousness, because we have a different set of karma. Therefore, a different set of circumstances will come in front of each of us. The righteous rules, our principles are fixed, but we will use them in different ways because different situations are going to be confronted by us, and we will use different tools and technologies. Somebody will use bhakti, somebody will use gyan, somebody will use action, somebody will meditate. But in the end, this all will take us to God. And we have to realize that we have to just doing outward puja, outward rituals, it has its own importance. Now, don't think I'm saying that, oh, stop doing puja and only meditate. No, it has a very important role, because it keeps your mind fixed on God. It keeps your heart fixed on God. And because it is our mind is restless, it wants to do something. We want to do certain actions. So then why not do those actions which are taking us Godward? So puja and aradhana and arati and all of that, these actions are taking us toward God. But always remember that higher than these actions is the direct perception of the infinite within yourself. And that comes through Guru given meditation. The Guru can take you there. There are so many paths, but the Guru is the one who is going to lead you to your realization, and that also not from the outside, but from within you yourself. Okay. Then what else is being said here? It's saying that the fruit of this knowledge, that this is a royal knowledge, the fruit of this knowledge is direct and immediate. So what does this mean? So as Master would say that even if a cave, is in darkness for 1,000 years, the moment you light a match, that very moment the darkness is dispelled. So even once, if you have the intuitive experience of being one with the infinite, of being that pure awareness, that experience will never leave you. So yes, you have to still do work to steady yourself in that experience so that you can have that experience all the time. But even if once you have had that experience, it cannot be reversed. And that is the beauty of spiritual gain. Even if you still have a couple of more lifetimes to live, to finish off your karma, that experience, that sense of inner freedom will stay with you. Now, then what our job remains is to steady that experience. That means continue to do the practices that you're doing. Because you still are not in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Unless you are in a state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi where 24/7 you know that you are that infinite consciousness and awareness, till then there is a chance of falling down back into ego. So it's only when the ego is completely dissolved and there is no difference between the meditator and the meditated upon. It's all one. Till that time, you need to keep working in the direction of stabilizing your attained state of awareness and your wisdom. But again, Krishna is saying it is easy to do. Therefore, let's do this. Okay. When the mind is purified by self-effort of all the impurities like attachments, aversions, and the lower gunas like tamas and rajas are eradicated, then no further effort is needed for realization. Why? Because Brahman is self-existence and Brahman is self-luminous. So you just, as we say, that the state of samadhi, you have to, in Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, you have to work till the 7 steps, till dhyana. And then samadhi happens automatically. And that's what is being said here. Once your chitta is purified, then automatically the state of being one with Brahman will happen, because it is always there, it is self-existence and it is self-luminous. This brings us to shloka number 3. Shloka number 3, Krishna says, Ashrachdhana purusha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mama nivartante mrityu sansara vartamani. हे परंतप अर्जुन, इस धर्म में श्रद्धा न रखने वाले व्यक्ति मुझे प्राप्त नहीं करते. वे बार बार मृत्यु के अंधकार से भरे संसार के पथ पुनर्जन्मों के चक्रों पर चलते हैं. Man without faith in dharma, in this dharma, attain me not, O scorcher of foes, Arjuna. Again and again, they tread the death-darkened path of samsara, the rounds of rebirth. So again, many things have been said here. So firstly, the declaration that this samsara that we are living in, we already said that is a death-darkened path. This samsara is a place of death. It is called Mrityu Loka, the loka in which we are living, and we think that it is filled with so many joys and pleasures and this and that is simply Mrityu Loka. Why? Because the shadow of death will never leave you. Whoever is born on this in this loka has to die, whether he's a king, whether it is a pauper, he's a saint, he's a sinner, he's a politician, he's a teacher, he's a student. Anybody and everybody has to die, in the sense the physical body has to be left here behind. So now death is again, and most of the time death is not a comfortable matter. So it is preceded by disease, it is preceded by old age, it is preceded by so many other things. And if you're attached to this world, then there's mental torture as well. So death is no good thing to happen. So this is a death-darkened loka, and it becomes our duty to actually free ourselves from this limitation. So let us accept this, just because we can see some beauty around. Let's not be hypnotized and disillusioned into believing that this beauty is going to last. The pleasure that I'm getting now is going to last, because it is not. It is only a mirage. What it promises, it does not give us. We should always remember that. So saying that, then Krishna says, men who do not have faith in this dharma. So dharma means absolute existence, means self-realization. And having faith, that you do not believe firstly that there's some higher existence is possible or it exists, and you don't believe that there can be a path to such an existence, that can be a means to such an existence, and there can be, a God-realized person who can help you to go towards this existence. And possibly there are certain actions in your own life, the self-effort that you can do to attain this absolute existence. So people who have no belief, such belief, they will never find. This is saying that they will attain me not. So not never. He is simply saying he'll attain me not, because of course later he says that the worst of sinner can also can come to him. But until they have faith. So if you don't have faith, then you cannot attain Krishna, and therefore the importance of this realization is very important. So we must recognize that yes, what we do, actually our spiritual practice is very diluted. Our faith is very lukewarm. Means we do believe, but we don't believe it wholeheartedly. We have that, okay, one day I will go to God, but maybe not now, So I'm just convinced that I'm okay right now. It's pretty much, fine. So that is lukewarm faith and lukewarm devotion. And until that intensifies, then till that, and until it is converted, your thirst for truth is converted into the experience of truth itself. Till then, it is going to take us a lot of time. So the one thing that needs to, be increased in us is the understanding the urgency of our situation, because this human life is very precious and we do not have any idea how many more number of breaths we have. And Krishna is saying, think of me while you are leaving the body. So therefore, considering this situation of ours, we should intensify our need for moksha in the first place. Once we intensify, because we have understood the urgency of leaving this mrityu loka, then we intensify our desire towards the goal of self-realization, and then we organize our life around this goal. Only then will this work, and then it will be easy. If you are organizing your life towards your destined, the goal of God, then things will definitely happen. Now, what we can also do is hasten this process. What did Master say at the end of life? He said, I don't want tortoises, I want race horses. So can we be those race horses who, just want God and they just want to have it with full devotion? So this does not mean that you have to really, really, you should not be creating restlessness in your intellectual mind. Oh, I'm missing out. Oh, so this is not a fear of missing out, the FOMO as they call it these days, but it's more in the heart. Your heart just recognizes that you will never feel complete until you are one with God. And with that realization, it is the intensity of the heart and not the restlessness of the mind is what I mean when I'm saying that we must intensify and become, faster in our search of God or in our journey on self-realization. And this will be understood only once we see the falsity of the world. Only when we are convinced that this world is not going to offer us what we really want. We want a bliss that is not conditional. We want a love that is not conditional. Now, it is not in the power of this world to give us what we want. We have to realize this very soon. And the moment we realize it, that the only being that can give us what we want is God, and He is within ourselves. And I have to realize this. Why? Because I want to be happy all the time, unconditionally. I want to love and be loved. Like what Master says, the love of God is greater than the combined love of all lovers that have ever loved. Now, this is a huge statement. Do you want to feel that love? I want to feel that love very, 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 very much. And therefore, I'm willing to surrender my life in those terms, to surrender my thoughts, to surrender my emotions, to do all actions in God's name, to meditate more and more. Not that I'm, just become perfect. No, not at all. I'm trying the very little that I can. It's not that I also can miss meditation many times. Sometimes life is like that. Life becomes difficult sometimes. But again, even if you miss your meditation sometimes, even if you cannot do your puja arati sometimes, even if you forget the name of God sometimes, but at least have you set your goal as God realization? And of course, there are days when we can run like race horses. There are days which we have to drag ourselves, but still, is our goal fixed? Is our direction set? If that is the case, then God is going to take care of us. And all we can do, so again, even the will to be able to walk on the path, even that has to be attuned with divine will. Our will is actually, it for us, it appears to be everything, but unless it is attuned with divine will, we are not going to be able to the bypaths to this journey are so many, the back alleys are so many, the ways of temptation are so many. So we may initially have a very good intention of going Godward, but in between somewhere, because the path appears to be long and a little arduous, in between it can be very easily, thought of to go towards the temptation, and things like name, fame, money, relationships, all these are temptations that keep bringing us back over and over and over again. So we have to do whatever best we can. And the easiest way is think of Krishna all the time. That is why now Master has given us this poem, God, God, God. Eating, sleeping, drinking, walking, dreaming, meditating, working, all the time. Even dreaming, he says, on the tapestry of that dream, you should dream God, God, God. That is why, so he's telling us to, what Krishna is saying, our Guru is also saying. Think of the Lord all the time. Whatever work you are doing, think of Him. Keep Him in your heart. Be a channel for the 8 aspects into this world. And you will find that you can remember Him easily at the point of passing away. So, of course, I have no personal experience of this, but I'm saying what the scripture is saying. Okay. This brings us to shloka number 4. Maya tatmidam sarvam jagat vyakta murtina matsthani sarvabhutani na chaham teshtva. मैं अव्यक्त पूरे ब्रह्मांड को व्याप्त करता हूं। सभी प्राणी मुझ में रहते हैं, पर मैं उनमें स्थित नहीं हूं। I, the unmanifested, pervade the whole universe. All creatures abide in me, but I do not abide in them. Now, this appears to be a confusing statement because in the first line of the same shloka, he says, I am pervading the whole universe. And in the continuity of that, in the same breath, he is saying, all creatures are in me, but I am not in them. So this is a little complex, and in the next shloka is also complex. So it is very difficult to comprehend this. I actually read a couple of commentaries, heard a couple of commentaries to finally come to understand as to what is the easy way to understand. And what different people have said is that the clay pot example is an easy way to understand what the Lord is trying to say here. So when we see a pot, so we see that it has a name, which is pot. It has a function. You can fill things in it, and it has a form, a particular way. It looks like this. But what we forget is that the clay nature of the pot is easily forgotten. And similarly, when we look at an ornament, we see a necklace, we see a tiara, we see a bracelet, a bangle, but we forget that what is pervading through the ornament. So again, so it is the clay nature or the gold nature which is the actual truth and which is all pervading. So God is pervading entirely in this universe. So this entire universe is actually made up of and by God. Now then, why does he say that he says all creatures are in me, but I am not in them? So he wants to clarify here. Because what we think of when we think of a pot, let's say, so we say what is inside the thought. So he is not saying, he's saying I'm not the space or the water inside the pot, but they are, I do not abide in them, they are in me. Means I am not what is inside, but I am through and through the pot again. So let's think of God as the clay. So clay itself is pervading the entire pot. So what happens is we falsely tend to think when we think of, when we hear that God is within you, we think that probably there is a small chamber in my own self, inside I am the container and there is a small chamber where a little form of God is sitting inside. So Krishna is clarifying that misconception here. He is saying, I am made through and through of you. So every fiber of your being, every cell of your body is Krishna, every pranic movement is Krishna, every thought and emotion is Krishna. He is pervading through all the layers of you. And but he is not, don't think that he is something which is sitting inside that way in your in a small space in your heart. He is through and through pervading, and therefore all beings are abiding in him. This has to be understood. So for example, we cannot say that the thread is in the cloth. The cloth exists only because there is a tapestry of threads. Okay, so it's interdependent. So it is just a play of language, but this is very, very subtly Krishna is explaining that don't imagine falsely that there is a separate God existing in a separate space inside you, but know him to be pervading one and everything in this universe, including what you think of the body, the mind, the prana, the 5 koshas that we have talked about, all of that, and this entire universe, all of that is in Krishna. It abides in Krishna, and he is pervading all of this reality, just as clay pervades the entire pot, just as wood pervades the entire furniture, the table, the chair. It's like the reality is wood. So just like that, the reality is Brahman, and it pervades, it looks different in different forms, in different nama rupa, names and forms and functions, but it is that one reality that pervades this entire existence that we see around us, the isness of it. He is existence itself. So with that thought, we will end today's class, and we will continue this discussion in the next class, because it will then bring us to the next shloka, which will complicate the matter and become more paradoxical. So we'll just study this over again in the next class. So let us share the beauty and the blessings of these teachings with the world, with souls everywhere. Let us pray together. Divine Mother, beloved Krishna, thou art omnipresent, Thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in all bodies, all minds, and all souls. Om. 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 Divine Mother, beloved Krishna, great gurus, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion, and may we be able to awaken